Welcome to the Joyful Movement Podcast, where we redefine exercise as an act of self care and move for our mental health. Here, we break free from diet culture and the obsession with skinniness, shifting the focus to longevity, vitality, and feeling amazing in our body. Movement should be joyful, accessible, and empowering for everyone, no matter your size, shape, age, or fitness level. So let's make exercise something you want to do for your sanity and not your vanity. Ready to move with joy? Let's dive in. And now, here's your host, Snigdha.
Hey everyone, I hope you're having a fantastic week. I'm so excited for today's episode because we're diving into something that might completely change the way you think about movement. We all know the basics. Exercise helps you stay in shape, boosts energy, improves mood, and supports heart health. But what if I told you that moving your body every day can improve your life in ways you never even realized? I'm not talking about the typical benefits you hear all the time. I'm talking about the subtle and unexpected shifts that happen when movement becomes part of your daily life. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 uncommon ways exercise has transformed my life, mentally, emotionally, and even socially. These are changes I never expected when I first started moving consistently. And they might just inspire you to see movement in a whole new way. Let's get into it. Number 1, movement has helped me take things less personally. Have you ever received feedback, whether at work, in a relationship, or even from a friend, and immediately felt defensive or emotional about it? I used to be like that. But here's what I've noticed. When I get in some movement, I can separate emotion from reality. Suddenly, I see the feedback for what it is, without adding layers of drama or overanalyzing it. I take the feedback as it is and as neutral, which reinforces the idea that the feedback is so that I can improve for the next time. I don't create a story about it in my mind about how they don't like me or that I'm such a failure. Movement helps me clear my mind, regulate my emotions, and shift my perspective. It's like instead of taking things personally, I can process them with a sense of clarity. Movement also helps me not take things personally in the way that when someone else shows up for me in a way that I don't like, I don't take that personally. I recognize that it's on them, on how they show up, versus a reflection of me. But this clarity only really comes from movement and after I've moved my body. And this isn't just a me thing. Science backs this up. Movement increases blood flow to the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for rational thinking and problem solving. So after a workout, I'm not reacting from a place of emotion. I'm responding from a place of clarity. So for example, if someone is being rude to me or showing up in a way that I don't personally like, I let that person be, and I recognize that that's on them, not on me. So I'm able to separate emotion from a place of clarity and separate me from them. And let me tell you, that shift alone has saved me from so much unnecessary mental drama. Number 2, movement helps me make better decisions. Speaking of clarity, another surprising thing movement does for me is it helps me make decisions faster. Whenever I feel stuck, whether it's a big life decision or something simple and small, I almost always make the decision after moving my body. Here's why. Exercise gets me out of my overthinking mind and into my body. It stops me from getting trapped in analysis paralysis and helps me see my options more clearly. Think about it. When you're stuck on a problem, do you find that just stepping away from it helps? Movement takes that to the next level. It physically shifts your energy, and with that shift, the mental fog lifts too. Now, whenever I feel indecisive, I don't sit there spiraling. I move first. And 9 times out of 10, the answer comes effortlessly afterward. And even if I'm still unsure after moving my body, I find that I can at least eliminate some of the options. Sometimes after some movement, I realize that I don't necessarily have to make a decision at that very moment anyway. For example, I was debating if I should go to an event, but I still had a week to decide. I was ruminating in this should I go, should I not go mindset, so I decided to go for a run. But once I got back from the run, I remembered that I still had a whole week to decide if I wanted to go. So why was I spiraling right now? I didn't have to make a decision at that very moment anyway, and I really think that if I hadn't gone running, I would have sat there spiraling in indecision. Number 3, movement reinforces my core values. This one was completely unexpected, but daily movement has helped me reinforce my values, not just in fitness, but in life. Because movement isn't just exercise, it's part of a bigger picture of wellness, and the more consistent I became with movement, the more I started to naturally prioritize other aspects of well-being, like eating nourishing foods that made me feel energized, prioritizing sleep because recovery matters just as much as effort, and creating a routine and developing discipline around the things that help me feel my best. It's like movement became the foundation for everything else. When I started moving daily, I realized that true wellness isn't just one thing. It's a collection of small, intentional habits that support each other. And because movement keeps me feeling good, it's a constant reminder to honor my body in other ways too. It's a constant reminder that I need to honor my bodies in ways that feels good and feels right for me for that day. I read a quote that said, "Your body is your first home." So when I let that quote sink in, I realized that wellness is so much more than extreme workouts. You can often determine how someone treats their body through their behaviors, habits, and choices they make regarding their health and well-being. Because I started to prioritize movement every day, I saw the mental benefits of doing that. I realized I needed to change my choices, habits, and behaviors too. Number 4. Movement shifted my social life and relationships. Now this one's big. Daily movement actually changed the way I approach friendships and relationships. Here's what I mean. Before I made movement a consistent part of my life, I used to say yes to plans just out of convenience, or because I had nothing else to do, or because I felt bad saying no. Whether it was going out for drinks, staying out late, or spending time with people I didn't really connect with, just because I felt like I should. But once I started prioritizing my well-being, like moving my body every day, getting enough sleep, and nourishing myself with good, nutritious food, I realized that I naturally gravitated towards people who valued the same things. Now, when I choose friendships, I look for people who value movement and well-being, value the importance of variety and joy in movement, enjoy activities that don't always revolve around alcohol or staying out late, and understand the importance of energy, rest, and self-care. And just to be clear, I'm not saying going out for drinks is bad or that you should not go out and do that. If that feels right for you, I'm not stopping you. But for me, I found that I was saying yes to things that didn't really align with my values once I started moving my body on a regular basis. And I didn't want to sacrifice my daily movement to get drinks and hang out with people I didn't want to. Or if I wanted to go out with friends and if they wanted to drink or stay out later than I wanted to, I had to learn to set boundaries and say no to alcohol or limit it to only 1 or 2 drinks or decide when I wanted to head home, even if others wanted to stay out later. Now, I'm much more intentional about who I spend my time with, and as a result, my friendships and relationships feel so much more aligned and fulfilling. Number 5, movement makes me more creative and productive. Have you ever noticed that some of your best ideas come when you're on a walk or dancing or just moving in some way? That's not random, it's science. When we move, our brains release dopamine and endorphins, which are directly linked to creative thinking. I've lost count on the number of times I've been struggling with an idea, whether it's for work, a project, or even this podcast, and then I go move my body and suddenly everything clicks. In fact, the idea to start this podcast came after I felt so good mentally after a run, and I wanted to share the benefits with others. Now I use movement intentionally as a creativity tool. If I feel stuck, I don't force the idea, I step away and I move my body. Movement also helps me get things done. For example, before I prioritized movement, I felt like I could just sit on the couch all day and watch Netflix. And I didn't feel like doing anything during the day. But I noticed that when I started moving my body, I was way more productive throughout the rest of the day. I wasn't going back and forth about whether I should wash the dishes or vacuum or cook the dinner. I would just do it because I needed to get done. And yes, these tasks are mundane, and these tasks will always keep piling up, but there was no overthinking about what needed to get done. So let's recap. Here are 5 unexpected ways movement has transformed my life. It helps me take things less personally. I can take feedback and process them with clarity. It helps me make decisions faster, where I can get out of indecision and into action. It reinforces my core values and reminds me that wellness is about much more than just exercise. It reshaped my friendships and relationships, so now I surround myself with people who align with my priorities. It makes me more productive and creative and unlocks new ideas and clears mental blocks. And the best part is that none of this requires extreme workouts. Even simple daily movement, like walking, stretching, dancing, taking the stairs, playing with your dog, whatever feels good, can create these shifts over time. So, move your body, not just because you should, but because movement might just unlock something for you that you never expected. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend, post about it, or send me a message. I'd love to hear how movement has impacted your life in unexpected ways. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, keep showing up for yourself and take care. Hey, before you go, let me ask you something. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast but felt totally overwhelmed by the process? I've been there. But here's the good news. It's way easier than you think, especially with the right team behind you. That's where Matt and his team at Hive Agency come in. They break it all down with step-by-step videos and tutorials, making things like recording, editing, and launching your podcast simple and stress-free. So, if you've been putting off your podcast dreams because you don't know where to start, this is your sign. Head over to hiveagency.com, check them out, and finally get your voice out into the world.
Thanks for listening. Please rate and review the podcast, as we'd love to hear your feedback. If you love what you're hearing and want to take the next step further, please visit www.joyfulmovement.ca.